And Ethiopia is on the verge of a civil war. The conflict in Tigray is now spreading to neighbouring regions, forcing thousands of people to flee. Aid organisations warn of a worsening humanitarian crisis. They accuse the Ethiopian government of not allowing them to operate in Tigray. Clashes have been going on between Tigray rebels and government-backed forces in Afar and Amhara, two regions that border Tigray. Horrific human rights abuses are being reported from the battle zone. According to a report, 30 bodies have been found in a river between Tigray and Sudan. The Ethiopian government has denied these reports, saying that they are part of Tigrayan propaganda. Meanwhile, the United States Agency for International Development, or the USAID, has raised alarm on what it dubbed as an aid blockade. It said that only 10% of targeted aid has reached Tigray. The agency added that the number of displaced people has been rising. Over 76,000 people have been displaced in Afar region, while over 100,000 have fled Amhara. Apart from this, thousands of people fled to Sudan when fighting first broke out in Tigray in November 2020.
As of 2 days ago, 153 trucks with relief items have been able to enter Tigray. So in that period between mid-July and August 2nd, according to the UN, what were needed was 1,500 trucks, and the number of trucks that rolled in and were able to pass was 153. That's 10%.
The Ethiopian government has accused aid groups of providing weapons to Tigray rebels. Remember, the Tigray conflict took a drastic turn in June this year when a rebel group called the Tigray Defense Forces captured the state's capital. The Ethiopian civil war has turned into a state-sponsored bloodbath. 9 months ago, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed promised a swift victory. Today, dead bodies are washing up in neighbouring countries. Refugee camps are on the brink of collapse, but the Prime Minister is keeping aid agencies out. His apathy and ruthlessness is pushing Tigray towards a famine. Our next report tells you more.
Deep in the Horn of Africa, the horrors of Ethiopia's forgotten war are resurfacing. What was supposed to be a swift victory has descended into a lengthy bloodbath. One that has turned Tigray's mountains, forests and rivers into graveyards. This is Tigray River. Over its 600-kilometer journey, this river nourishes much of Ethiopia. But today, it's a grim reminder of this cruel war. Downstream in Sudan, dozens of corpses are floating in the river. Some of them are riddled with gunshots. Others were found with their hands tied behind. This isn't a war casualty. It is mass murder. The bodies were first spotted by fishermen in Sudan. They recovered at least 50 of them, but some were washed away by the strong currents, possibly lost forever.
We found that man with his hands tied with a red plastic cord. Everyone else was tied with yellow electric cables. None of them had identifying documents on them. These people were in Humera, but they are not from there. They are from Tigray.
Tigray's ghosts are likely Tigrayan refugees, people who tried to flee the battle, only to be captured and killed by the Ethiopian army. The government denies this version. They say it's a fake campaign by propagandists. This has been Ethiopia's answer to all atrocities. Deny it ever happened. But these pictures don't lie. The refugee camps in Tigray are running out of food and water. More than 100,000 children are at risk of death. The United Nations wants to help, but the government won't let them.
We need to change the circumstances that have seen trucks moving in rather slowly. We need assured access routes by land, as well as, of course, our own flights going in and out of Mekelle. And frankly, we need the war to end. We need the conflict to stop if this is to be a safe place for the people of those particular regions in northern Ethiopia.
The United States has dispatched U.S. aid chief Samantha Powers to Ethiopia. Washington has dumped money on this conflict, but it's done little to end the war. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed continues to block aid and intervention. He hides behind his Nobel Prize as his countrymen starve to death. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.